Let's talk about last night and what a night it was. Another gold for Canada after our women's hockey team defeated the US 3-2 at the Olympic Games. So reaction, guys, how you feeling?
Ooh, I just want to say amazing. They have reclaimed the color that they came there for, which was gold. They were still licking their wounds from the 2018 silver loss to Team USA, but we are back, people. We are back. So a huge congratulations to the entire team, to the entire organization. The only thing I lament is that, it was really late. I think it was like 11 or 10 or 11 p.m. start. So for most of us, unfortunately, we weren't able to watch that. And I'm really sad because this is precisely the kind of hockey and women's hockey I think a lot of people are craving, especially young fans, the littlest ones. My niece, shout out to Tessa Lee, she loves hockey. She watches a lot of NHL because of her dad. But I think this could be a pivotal moment for young players like her who really are going to look up to these women to be the heroes that they are. So huge congrats to them. I think they are continuing to fuel this sport into beautiful places in this country.
Yeah, Mel, I'm just as excited as you. And I'm tired today, a little broken because of that late start time. But I also really appreciated how much focus, especially national focus, the women's team in Canada got. One of the reasons is because the men's side didn't do so great. We don't have to talk about that, but typically it is the men's participants in sports who get a lot of the hype. So it was really great that the Canadian women deservedly were front and center. And now Canadian women own the gold in hockey and in soccer. It was just 6 months ago that our Canadian women won at the Olympics. So this is really exciting. And I say this, I said this when we were watching the Canadian soccer players play in the summer. Jacek is a big-time soccer fan, and he played hockey, and he understands hockey. And he said about the soccer players, that's how the game should look. You know, no flailing, no falling, just pure skill. Yeah. And it's the same on the women's side. Because there's less hitting in women's soccer, this was a skills showcase. It was a beautiful display of the game, and it was a wonderful display by our Canadian women.
I love that you just said that, Lainey, because, I mean, like, obviously, I remember also us watching the women's soccer and how exciting that was. And I don't want to be a downer. This is amazing, and we should all feel so proud and celebrate these women when they get back. But I can't help but feel a little bit of sadness as well. You know, Mel, you mentioned your niece, Tessa Lee, who's a big, huge hockey fan. And I mean, this is one of those elephants in the room that Tessa Lee can watch these women, and she will never like anyone who's a big fan will never able to be at the level that men are. They'll never be a part of the NHL the way things are right now. And I just feel like that's very bittersweet. We always say on the show, if you can see it, you can be it. In this case, you've got these legions of fans who are watching these incredible athletes, and they can't be it. And so for me, if I had a daughter or someone special in my life who loved hockey, I would
You mean
really
they can't be in an organized league? Is that what you're saying? Because they can get to the Olympics.
They can't be in a professional. They cannot make. You're not going to make money from the Olympics. We know that there's just the aspiration. The ceiling is pretty low in terms of where they can go when you compare it to where the men can possibly go. And that to me is a discrepancy. Especially, Lainey, back to you saying how pure the game was. It begs the question as to why we aren't supporting women here.
You're raising a really good point. And so I was talking about soccer, Cynthia, and on the soccer side, there are professional sports leagues for women and very successful ones. In fact, in North America, the finances for the women's leagues, they make more money. They're very, very lucrative. And so if we can make that happen on the hockey side, and they are trying to grow the game. I hear you're 100% right as it stands now, but there are ambassadors for the game, including Canadian Hayley Wickenheiser, who has been going around the world promoting the sport for women in different countries like India. And we just saw in Beijing the Chinese women's team get very emotional after they won one of their games because of what it means for the sport for women in China. So very, very early days, but perhaps the momentum can continue.
Yeah. I get having a spectrum of emotions with this, though, Cynthia. Like, there's so much, obviously, to celebrate. Sarah Nurse, she broke the record for the most points in a single Olympic game. And she's also the first Black woman to play Olympic hockey. So, like, this is super exciting. But then it's also Sarah Nurse is the first Black woman to play Olympic hockey, and it's 2022. So, like, there's a range of emotions to experience, I think.
Yeah, you know what, though? I do, like, if I can go back, I mean, there's a lot. All of you are absolutely right in terms of the highs and the lows of this. But, you know, I look at the high of the longevity of the women in the game. These women, many of them, they have been in 3 or 4 Olympic Games together. And, like, think about that. I'm trying to think really quickly off the top of my head. Can we say the same about a bunch of male players? I mean, there certainly is longevity in the game, and that's really, really cool to see. There is such camaraderie and team spirit. They lost the 2019 World Championships, and the GM, who at the time, Gina Kingsbury, said, here's what we're going to do. Don't worry about this World Championship loss. She gave every single one of these players a clock. It was a countdown clock to the 2022 Beijing Olympics. And the countdown was the reminder, eye on the prize, ladies. And so if you can go, that clock has been going for 3 years. The ladies said that they traveled with it. They had their clocks everywhere, their bedroom, their training, their gym, their kitchen, and it brought them to this moment. Those are those things where I just think you can take that to so many places in your life. So I mean, it warms my heart. I wish tomorrow that they could go to a league and I could buy a ticket. It's not happening yet. But
well,
somebody
let's
watching
choose to
can help make
celebrate
it
today.
happen.
Let's celebrate it today. It's a big deal.
Amen to that. Amen. The other